Good afternoon. Very happy to have you here with us. You were nominated by Secretary General to lead the UN expert group on the resolution of the debt crisis. So if you can introduce yourself and tell us a few points about the initiative, please.
My name is Mahmoud Mohieldin. I'm the Special Envoy of the Secretary General of the UN on financing the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. And I was asked by the Secretary General to provide help through co-chairing the group on providing debt solutions for debt and development crises.
And there were 11 key recommendations. So, of course, they are all important, but what are the key priorities without which the initiative will fall flat?
The 11 measures, proposals, suggestions had to be taken together. It's like having a good football team. None of the 11 players is substitutable by the other unless there is something related to complementarity. Here, we put these proposals based on rigorous analysis of each one of them. Each one of these proposals have been tested by top analysts, academics, and policymakers actually for their applicability. And the other thing is basically, given the tough geopolitics that the world is going through, none of these measures is very much demanding beyond the expected kind of work and support for political leadership. So we don't need exceptional political leadership or exceptional circumstances for these measures to be applied. They could be divided into three categories. Five in the first category, which is basically dealing with measures at the global multilateral level, at the international cooperation and between countries, South and regional cooperation, and three, which I think could be the most important ones at the national and local level.
Yes. So maybe going to that one, you are originally from Egypt.
Yes.
Can you give some ideas what Egypt should do, but also what you think could be the main obstacle to implementation?
As you know, in this work, we're trying to provide solutions into two fronts. One, in dealing with the current debt crises facing many developing economies and emerging markets. And the other one is the prevention one. So one is about short-term debt relief, and the other one is basic about the prevention. And a great deal of work that is required to do more than one thing really by governments and central banks in better coordination in monetary and fiscal policies, in deepening financial markets, in enhancing the capacity and provide better technical assistance to their debt management units, to lower the transaction costs when it comes to conventional finance streams and for the new financial innovative instruments. And we emphasize the importance of building pipeline of bankable and investable projects. And from the very beginning, instead of dealing with a loan problem or a debt crisis problem, we need really to deal with the issues related to what kind of growth model that we're using, how we are providing the required investments for that growth model to function, investments in infrastructure, human capital, in resilience, all need to prioritize funding through the private sector and concessional finance rather than relying on the very constrained fiscal space.
Egypt is, of course, leader in some of the innovative instruments, for example, the sovereign green bond, but many others. How can ECA help? Where can we cooperate?
Well, one area, of course, and you have the power of that, the regional cooperation, the convening power. It's about knowledge sharing, technical assistance, and having a kind of a broader platform for sharing ideas from Cape Town to Cairo, from Ethiopia, Addis to Cote d'Ivoire, covering the whole continent of its 54 countries. And the other thing that we can do, because we don't need always just talk about financial solutions. Many of these solutions are on the knowledge side, on the technical assistance, on the capacity building. Yes, they cost money, but they are not associated necessarily with funding governments or funding projects. And you are in this line of business. And of course, through your work, you can, of course, share knowledge through the other regional economic commissions around the world. So it's not just regional knowledge, it's a kind of a global type of knowledge.
And that's where Africa has a lot to offer. In fact, especially in the areas of climate change, I think it has potential to be global leader. So we count on you in some areas, not everywhere.
Yeah,
so we count on you.
In the two forces of change, digital transformation
Exactly.
and sustainability,
Exactly.
Africa has what it takes in terms of demographic dividend, in terms of the endowments when it comes to nature. What we need is to invest better in human capital, in digital infrastructure, and invest in resilience. And we need to do that in a very sustainable way, not to finance today and regret tomorrow.